What's up, guys? It's Kelly. Alright, so the day started as I was at work all night, so I work night shift, and so Kelly ended up being sleep deprived throughout this entire experience. So just imagine, like, I'm sleep deprived, I'm saying things, like, I'm just completely moody out of nowhere. But the best part was, like, when she got to my house, and it's her and her sister that went with me, and the whole car ride was so much fun. We were just jamming out to their music, talking, whatever, and as we got closer and closer to the venue, we ended up jamming more and more and more. Well, we got there about 10 o'clock, 10:30 in the morning. So this concert doesn't start until 7:30 at night, and VIP isn't until 5:30, which we had VIP. So we're just sitting here like, alright, okay, whatever. But we sat outside until the doors opened, and we were the first ones there, so all fine and dandy. But at one point I was paying attention, and Alyssa and her sister, Elena, were not paying attention whatsoever, and I happened to look up, and we're sitting outside the venue, so, like, here's the venue door, here's me, here's Alyssa, and then here's Elena. So, like, we're just in a line, and I happened to look up, and I noticed Christian Anthony wearing a bright-ass orange hoodie. So I'm smacking the living shit out of Alyssa's leg. And she's like, quit hitting me. I'm like, well, maybe if you looked up and saw who I'm staring at, I'll stop hitting you. And she finally, like, looked up and, like, she saw Christian, and she was just like, oh, that's why. Okay. And I was like, yeah, that's why. So, like, we just sat there. So we're just being calm, cool, and collected about it. We weren't trying to intrude into what they were doing or anything. They walked past us, like, they looked at us, said hi, and we're just like, oh, okay, that happened. But about, like, I want to say about, like, 20 minutes later, Christian ended up coming back, and he looked at us and he went, oh, what's up? Like, we're like, oh, nothing. Like, hi, Christian. And just being, like, calm, cool, and collected. And then Alyssa looked at me wide-eyed after he walked away, and I'm just like, yep, this is happening. So, alright. Throughout the whole day, the only people in the band that we saw were Christian, Jesse, and Clinton. Those were the only three that we would see throughout the day, like, multiple times a day. Also, we saw Riley a couple times, so, which is, he opens for them, and he's their, like, tour manager, too. So, that, but we kept on seeing Christian, Jesse, and Clinton a lot. So, we're like, alright, like, and we kept on seeing Pat, but, like, Pat was just, like, that person, like, who wasn't really paying attention, like, was just going in and out, like, just pretty much, like, following them, so he wasn't, like, alone, I feel like. But Christian's the only one that kept on talking to us, and we're like, okay. Then Alyssa bought Christian a pack of cigarettes, so once we saw him again, she was like, here, Christian, catch, and she threw them at him, and her car was right in front of us, so he, like, leaned back, and he was like, shit, like, he just yelled shit, and we're just like, okay, and then he, like, leaned onto her car, because, like, he, like, fell back, because he wasn't, like, expecting that to happen. But he looked at her and went, like, oh, they're menthol, you should give them to Jesse. She went, oh, okay, like, whatever, cool. And he's like, are you sure? And she's like, yeah, I bought them for you. And he's like, oh, well, thank you, okay. And that's when Alyssa had another tiny freak out. She was like, oh, that happened. I'm like, yep, okay. Like, alright. But then about 20 minutes later, he came back and he looked at us in the most loving way possible. Like, this was the cutest thing ever. I don't know if it was his accent or whatever, but in the most loving way possible, he's like, are you guys okay? Like, are you guys too cold? Like, are you guys warm enough? And we're like, we're fine, Christian, like, whatever. And then Alyssa and her sister were both wearing beanies. So I'm the only one not wearing a beanie. And he just looks at me and goes, you should wear a beanie. You'd be a lot warmer. And I'm just like, did you really just say that? Like, I wasn't expecting that. And then Alyssa just goes, he insulted you. And I'm just like, yeah, but in the most loving way possible. Like, it was the nicest way to be like, oh yeah, like, you'd be a lot warmer if you're wearing a beanie. Like, and the way he said it, and then, like, the way his accent is, like, so I'm just, like, I just started cackling at that point, like, after he walked back into the venue. I'm just sitting there cackling, like, not knowing what to do. I'm just like, oh, that happened. Like, why did he do that to me? Like, okay. But then, pretty sure Christian ended up leaving again. And then, while they were putting all the band equipment into the venue. And at this point, when they're putting stuff into the venue, whatever Clinton was carrying, I don't know what it was, but it got really close to me, and he almost hit me with it, and, like, it was, like, eye level with me, and, like, it was kind of pointy. So, like, I'm just like, okay, I'm trying not to die today. Like, all you see is me, like, pressed up against, like, the door. Well, not the door. The wall. Like, trying to, like, move. I'm, like, laying on top of Alyssa so I don't die. And all Clinton does is just look at me. I'm just like, thanks for almost ruining my life. Okay. Like, alright. Thanks, Clinton. That, a dog was, like, walking, and, like, its owner and a dog were walking, and this dog was so sweet, and I started petting it, and all of a sudden the dog walked away from me, and I was, like, really confused and, like, conflicted. I was like, why? Then I look over towards the venue door, so, like, here's the venue door, and, like, here's me. So I just look over, like, nonchalantly, and Clinton Cave is just sitting there petting this dog. He literally came outside to pet this dog. And all you see is me look over, and I automatically, like, turn my head, and my eyes are going like this, like like wide-eyed. And then Alyssa's like, what? And then she looks over, and she's like, oh. Like, we weren't expecting Clinton to come out like that, and, like, it caught us off guard. Like, it's not that we're, like, fangirling kind of, but, like, it was just kind of, like, I'm not expecting for them to, like, come out and, like, be right next to me or, like, anything like that. So, me widening my eyes, like, I wasn't fangirling, like, I wasn't trying to show my fangirl, because, like, trust me, I don't want to be one of those fans that just show their fangirl, but I'm just, like, sitting there, I'm just, like, can you go back inside? Like, I was like, can you just please go back inside, Clinton? Like, go away from me. Like, let me have my time. And then he went back inside and everything, like, after he was done petting this dog. And he literally just came outside to pet this dog. And I'm just like, alright, I see you. And then Alyssa's just like, oh, he tried killing you. And then he comes out and pets this dog. I'm like, yep. That happened. And finally, at one point, we finally end up seeing Mitchell. And Mitchell was, like, MIA this entire day. Like, we didn't see him until, like, maybe 3:30. So we're out there since 10 o'clock. Like, 10 o'clock, 10:30. We kept on seeing the boys, but where's Mitchell? Like, we kept on, like, asking ourselves, like, where's Mitchell? Like, did he die? Like, I kept on, like, saying, like, oh, Mitchell died. He died. Like, he's not here. He died. But then we ended up seeing him. He was walking like on the other side of the road and like walking up. So we didn't like obviously talk to him. But then he came back on our side walking towards the venue. So like obviously he sees us. So we're just like, okay. And at this point I'm standing up because like my butt got really cold. I was just cold in general. I had a blanket around me. I had a blanket wrapped around me. And all of a sudden, like he was walking in the venue. He goes, "Oh, hey!" And then Alyssa went, "Hi." And then I was like, "Hey, Mitty." And he gave like this like smirk. He went, and then just walked in. And we're just like, oh, because like I've heard mixed emotions about Mitchell. About like I've heard that he's an asshole. I've heard a lot of different things about Mitchell. And personally, like at that point in time, I was just like, okay, maybe these people are right. Like Mitchell isn't nice and whatever. So I just shrugged that off. I'm just like, okay, maybe, okay. Then before the concert like started, kind of like before they started like letting people out, like out in, all the boys ended up like leaving, and our friend Vivian, we made a friend in line, and her name is Vivian. She is mostly a fan of Jesse, which is, if you guys don't know who Chase Atlantic is, he is the drummer. But Jesse walked out, and I wasn't paying attention at this point in time because we were literally blasting music out of Alyssa's car, like blasting their music and everything. And I didn't notice them walk out. Well, I didn't notice like Jesse. I didn't know who else walked out, but I didn't notice Jesse, and all I heard was a scream going, "Ah!" And I just look over, and then Jesse's like laughing, and then I just saw Vivian like with her hand over her mouth, and I'm just, at that point I was literally cackling to the point where I actually fell onto the ground. Like they watched me fall. It was completely funny. Like, and then we just looked at her and we're like, Vivian, we don't do that. We're just like, they're normal people. It's fine. You're fine. Like, don't scream. She's like, it just came out. Like, it was one of those things where, like, it just came out. That was her first reflex. So, like, we let it shrug off. And every time we saw him after that, we're just like, don't scream. But, like, oh my God, it was so funny. As like I said, though, we were jamming out to their music. So we were, like, blasting their music out of Alyssa's car with my phone. And Christian, I forget what song we were playing, but Christian walked out during his part of the song, and he points at Alyssa's car and just smiles and like laughs about it. And we're just like, okay, okay. Then all of a sudden I'm just like, you're welcome. Like, and I think that was the same point in time where I yelled back at Christian. I was like, Christian, are we friends? And he was just like, of course. And I'm just like, I was like, bless. Like, that, God bless. Now it's time to get on to the meet and greets, the actual formal meet and greet. So this went along like everyone signed in, and then we booked it straight to the front. Like straight to like the stage. Like we wanted front row, so obviously we booked it to the stage, and we put our stuff down. Like where's like we're not moving. And first, like it was first the Q&A, and then we got to go up and meet them and take our picture and stuff. So at that point, I didn't want to leave my spot, but also like I didn't want to miss my chance to obviously meet them. I paid money to meet them, so I went up and I met them. We actually met this woman. She actually like saved our spots for us, and it was so sweet. Like, oh, bless. And then I had Alyssa go first. Then Alyssa recorded my meeting them, and the first thing I did was I hugged Jesse, and I actually asked Jesse, I'm like, this might be a weird question, but can I have a drumstick after the show? Like, and all of a sudden, like, he was like, yeah, if I have any up there. And I'm like, okay. Update, never got that drumstick. But then I ended up hugging Christian, which Christian hugged me mid talking to Jesse. Then I walked over to Mitty and gave Mitty like the biggest hug ever. Then I walked over to Clinton and then Pat. And I walked back because I was doing what pretty much everyone else was doing, was going back to Christian and Mitty. And I put my arm around Christian's waist, and I was trying to put my arm around Mitty's waist, but that did not happen. That actually ended up not happening. And Mitchell, my back was against him, and he put his arm like this on me and put his head on my head. And I'm just like, oh, okay, I guess this is happening. Like, it just looks like, from what Ellisa said, it just looks like a prom picture. Like, I'm just like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, but meeting them was a great experience. They're all so nice and just genuine, and why are Australians so nice? And
I love him so much.
the concert actually started, and like Riley was the first one to go on, which I actually accidentally deleted my videos from Riley, so whoops. But then it was Cherry Pools, which I ended up falling in love with Cherry Pools. I really liked them, and I have like all of their music on, like that's on Spotify in my playlist now. And then it was Chase Atlantic, which I actually have a video of them walking on stage, so put that in.
Yeah.
When it started, I almost got hit multiple times with Christian's guitar. Multiple times, mind you. The one time he actually did notice it, and then he just looked down and went, I'm just like, you're good, it's fine. Give me a concussion, it's fine. Like, I almost died multiple times today, like, multiple times that day. And then, at one point, Clinton, I didn't get any of this, like, on video, so, like, but it actually did happen. But then Clinton walked over. I didn't get a video of this at all. And Clinton walked over with the saxophone, and he, like, moved it up, and it almost hit me, like, right in the forehead. So I'm just like, I think these boys are actually trying to kill me. Like, I had this feeling that they just wanted to kill me. Like, there's like, nope, Kelly, screw off. Like, we don't like you. And I'm just like, okay. One of my favorite songs that they performed was The Walls. I was so excited to hear The Walls and Triggered for some reason. Like, that was my main thing, was I'm so excited to hear those two. So, I have so many videos of The Walls. I have a few videos of Triggered. Like, I pretty much recorded the whole song of The Walls, and I don't know why, but I did. But then... Numb to the Feeling, Mitchell was like over, and he was holding other girls' hands, so I was like, here's my chance. So I decided that I wanted to hold his hand, and so I just grabbed his hand, and in the video I like aimed my camera, and I'm like holding it like this kinda, and I just aimed my camera towards my hand, and like it was just beautiful. Like, we were front row, so this was a lot different. This was a different vibe, and this was honestly one of the best concerts I've ever been to. And I say that so much about concerts, and this one just ceases to amaze me. Like, for some reason, like, Chase and Atlantic shows are hands down probably the best concerts I will ever go to, because they're so fun, energetic. Like, they'll always keep you on your feet. You're always jumping. You're always in a great mood. You make great friends. There's like a great crowd of people. Like, the Chase Atlantic fandom's honestly like really freaking nice, and I do like that a lot. Like, we made so many new friends. Like, some I may not know their names. I got a few of their socials, but personally just meeting them and becoming friends with them was really cool. But this was actually the second time I've seen Chase Atlantic, because I went and saw them with Ellisa. So every time Ellisa. But I went with Ellisa to Warped Tour, which I have a video of that. But I only had one clip of Chase Atlantic because my phone died. So my phone was at 1% at Warped Tour, and I got one video of Chase Atlantic, and it was during OK, and then my phone died right after I hit end. So blessed we got that. But this concert was so much different. Like, I got so many videos. I got so many like interactions, and it was just a beautiful moment, and I loved it. And I also want to say thank you, because before meeting Ellisa, I actually was shown Chase Atlantic by my friend Amanda, and then after meeting Ellisa, I started listening to them more and more because Ellisa listened to them. It was like we had like a common ground. Like, we both had that in common. Like, we both listened to them, but I wasn't listening to them as much. But honestly, like, those two got me really hard into them, and I love every minute of it. But like, mostly it was Amanda. Amanda did show me them first. She was just like naming all the songs I should listen to, and bless her soul. And now me and Alyssa have to get ready for round 2. This is going to be round 2 for us, and we see them on the 12th. So literally a week from yesterday, we're going to see them again. So bless. And oh, I almost forgot. During the show, Christian, I noticed he put water in his mouth. So I was just like, what is he gonna do? Like, I was like, oh, he's just drinking water, whatever. And yeah, my thought was not clear at all. I watched his head go up like this, and he spit the water out. And before I could even like comprehend what was going on, that ended up he ended up spitting it out, and it landed directly on mine and Alyssa's face. So we're just like, okay, all right, beautiful. We're like, all right, that was unexpected, but not mad. They also like to throw water like in the crowd, so Mitchell did this about 3 times, and each time I got hit with it. But the last time Mitchell threw water was literally, I think it was during Numb to the Feeling. Like, it was right after I held his hand, and he threw water again, and it hit me directly, like, almost probably, like, I wouldn't say, like, the half the bottle of water, but, like, I got soaked that point in time, and a lot of water went directly into my eye. So all you see is me jumping with, like, one eye closed. I'm, like, trying to hold it. I'm, like, trying to videotape. Like, I was riding and, like, driving the struggle bus. Like, But if you like this video, go ahead and hit like, smash that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, that way you never miss a post.